So I'm here at the Baxter's Loch Ness Marathon 2024 at the finish area. So I've just finished the marathon, and I think it's important that I try and document my emotions at this moment in time, because it's the first marathon in a long time that just hasn't gone my way. I was aiming for somewhere around 3 hours and 15 seconds to 3 hours and 15 minutes to 3 hours and 20 minutes. That was kind of where I was trained to be, and I had an injury, so it's really tough to kind of talk about races so close to the end, because it's so raw, and you forget what kind of goes into the training, what goes into the effort to kind of get here. You prepare yourself as best you can, and some days things just don't go your way. And it's a Loch Ness Marathon, beautiful setting. You start at the southern point of Loch Ness, and then you run along adjacent to Loch Ness back into Inverness to finish. And I think the challenge was it's downhill quite dramatically for the first 5 miles or so. And being a barefoot style runner, so I'm in Vibram, 5 fingers V runs, I was always told when you run the downhill, you've got to let your legs go. The more you try and hold the pace on the slopes, the more stress and strain you're going to put through your quads in particular, and it can cause issues further down the line. So I properly let my legs go on the downhills, and I was on for a really good time. But the problem is the impact of letting your legs go means that you're striking the ground so much harder with my feet. And what ultimately happened was I hammered my feet so bad. I've got numerous blisters all over them, a massive blood blister, probably like that size, similar to the one I had before. Fortunately, the skin's still in place, so hopefully it's not going to need trips to the hospital and stuff to kind of get it dressed and everything. Hopefully it'll just heal with the skin over it and I can drain it. But and then as soon as you've got the blisters and the bruising on the soles of my feet, I lost my rhythm and running technique, and then I was having to put more resistance into the hills coming down them, and then I jolted both of my quad muscles, and I got to halfway. I was still on for a really good time at that point. I was on for under a 3 hour 15 marathon at the time, and I thought I was going to be a DNF. Did not finish. So it was just so painful. It was literally like my quads were on fire, and someone had sliced the soles of my feet. And I think what I managed to do, I suppose, I should be proud. Although at the moment I'm feeling incredibly disappointed. I'm feeling embarrassed of my performance, which is strange, because I just run a marathon, and I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone who run a marathon, but when you set yourself a target and you feel that you're in good shape to do it, and you come in so far short, it does feel, your sense of pride takes an absolute pounding, and that's kind of where I am at the moment. I'm absolutely gutted, but I am proud I finished, because I thought to myself, you know what, it's a long way to come up here. The cost, the expense, the travelling, to not get my medal. So I thought, well, I'm going to finish, and I managed to limp run a half marathon, which was no mean feat. I had to stop multiple times at the medical stations to try and get my feet dressed and padded as much as I feasibly could, and they managed to get me just about round. So I came in at 3 hours and 48, which isn't disastrous, considering I was aiming for 3:15 to 3:20. So it was a big disappointment in that second half of the marathon. But you know what, I finished it. So I will take pride in that. And you know what? I think you learn more in your failures than you do in your successes. And I think ultimately, what have I learned from this marathon? Well, downhill running with barefoot style footwear, your feet can take an absolute hammering if you let your legs go too much. So I think I need to find the balance there in letting them go enough to not put too much resistance in, but controlling my stride and controlling the impact levels that my feet endure onto the road coming downhill. I think that was the downfall of the race. As soon as I'd started getting the injuries and the blisters and the bruising of the soles of the feet, running technique went out the window, so I was then putting more resistance in, and then my quads went, because I was having to try and control the speed coming down the hill so much so. So you live and learn. I learned that maybe I was going too quick at the beginning with letting my legs go as well, but perhaps I don't know, you live and learn. It's so raw at the moment, but I will take pride and take heart that I didn't quit. I managed to keep going every ounce that we wanted to. I'm not going to lie, and halfway I thought, I don't know how I'm going to continue. I really didn't know how I was going to continue, but once I'd kind of come to peace with the fact that I wasn't going to get anywhere near the time I set, and I was just going to try and finish, it was then about trying to do damage limitation really, and make sure that I can run tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to run tomorrow, to be honest with you, but I'll give it a go. And getting my feet strapped and dressed as much as I possibly could. I had so much padding on, they could barely fit into my Vibram 5 fingers V runs. But yeah, it's just the cold harsh reality of disappointments of when marathons don't go your way. So I can't do a live video on Facebook at the moment because my profile's not old enough, bizarrely, as my old profile got hacked. So this will have to be as best as it's going to get. But yeah, really gutted, to be fair, but we live and learn and we move on. So as always, stay positive, stay happy.